We do have a purpose. We may
Welcome, everyone! I'm so excited to get you started on your journey to find your gifts and talents and giving you the tools you need to succeed and be who you're destined to be.
Welcome, friend. We are excited to help you discover your new look. My name is Shanidra Matthews and I started Amara 2 Classy Boutique to help women find classy and chic items for all sizes. It's not like the store experience. If we don't have your size, you can go on our website and purchase your size in your favorite outfit.
Welcome, everyone! I'm so excited to get you started on your journey to find your gifts and talents and giving you the tools you need to succeed and be who you're destined to be.
Become their own boss. It's pretty fun as you get used to it because we get to do like a lot of fun stuff. Like you get to learn about different things like in business.
Exposing kids to new possibilities for their future.
I'm kind of thinking that I kind of want to do like some type of editing stuff or either like making clothing.
Shanidra Matthews founded Beyond the Cover Academy to help kids develop new skills that will benefit them in the future. Behind every door, a new experience. Photography, art, music, cosmetology.
Hello, everyone. This is your girl Shanidra with Let's Dig Deep. Yes, indeedy, if you can hear me clearly. Now, I'm about to break this down so you can be found wearing your crown. Today's title is There's a Difference Between Building Up and Holding Up. A huge difference between building up something and just holding it up. You don't know what it took to build this up. Holding this up ain't nothing, but having to build it up, it takes a process that you have not had to go through. But before I get into it, I'm gonna get you through it and I'm gonna have you watch this video. Just to show you a little bit of what I'm talking about, and then we're going to get right into it. We're going to dig deep up in here. So here we go.
do have a purpose. We may not be perfect people. We may not have perfect situations, but we are still significant nonetheless. And we have been blessed with a rich body of emotions. We have emotions. We're not like roses or plants or bushes that have life without feeling. We have feelings, and when we use them properly, they are very effective in motivating you toward your destiny. I want you to be clear and understanding that purpose and passion are interconnected. Unfortunately, we live in a crazy world that we're busy all the time and everything's fast, and we are losing touch with who we are, our inner sense of passion. But it is your passion that empowers you to be able to do that thing you were created to do. We have passion through which we thrust into the throes of life to accomplish the things that we were created to do so that we can function at a higher dimension with authority and with conviction. You need passion to withstand all the obstacles that go along with your purpose. Just because you're living on purpose doesn't mean you're going to have problems. You're going to need thrust to be able to get up off the ground and to step into the field of your dreams. Even if you have not landed on the thing, at least get in the territory of the thing you are dreaming to do and that you hope to accomplish to do. And through that passion, you're able to ignite things you have never ignited before. I hear you, I hear you, I hear you. You're saying, I don't feel a thing. All of us go through times that we don't feel anything at all. But in order to ignite passion again, you have to be exposed. Get out of the boat, Peter. Walk on the water. Go do something you've never done before. Get involved. Get connected. Because when you are exposed, you see that there are more options than your contemporary situation at any age. That's the good news about it. You don't have to be cute. You don't have to be pretty. You don't have to be a size 3. You don't have to be a blonde or brunette. You don't have to be 20 or 50. At any age, you can still ignite your purpose through finding your passion. That's good news. What then do we do with the lulls in life? The dark shadows in life? We all have them. The secret pains and burdens that we have in life. Are they in fact distractions from our purpose? Absolutely not. I have never seen anybody who did extraordinary feats that didn't have extraordinary issues. It is the passion that gives you the power you need, but it is the pain from which you have the conviction about it. If you had not been through some pains, you would not have the burning to do what you do. I believe that children are like arrows. They need to be directed. You aim them at the thing you want them to hit, but you don't push an arrow, you pull it away from it. And it is the digression that causes the progression. If your life has been tough and it's been hard and you had to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and your childhood wasn't so good, guess what? That was just the arrow being pulled back so that when you are released, you can thrust after the thing you're after. So you don't have to grieve over what you didn't get and what didn't happen and how you were treated and who didn't raise you and who didn't love you. You don't have to grieve about it at all. Once you understand, the greater the digression, the stronger the progression. If Nelson Mandela had not been incarcerated, had not been mistreated, had not been ostracized, he would not have the passion to do what he does. If Oprah Winfrey had not gone through the things that she had gone through, she would not be so committed to making sure that everybody finds their purpose and finds their dream and everybody gets healed and everybody's okay. I'm telling you, what you think is working against you is actually working for you. My challenge in our generation is that gradually through entertainment, through television, through media, through every way possible, we are living in a generation of the dumbing down of ideas. Because we have traded effectiveness for busyness. Statistics say we are busier than any other generation we have seen in the last 300 to 400 years. We are so busy. We are busier than a one-arm wallpaper hanger. We're just busy. We are just as busy as we can be. And we think because we're busy, we're effective. But I want you to challenge your schedule for a minute and ask yourself, are you really being effective? Or is your life cluttered with all kinds of stuff that demands you and drains you and taxes you and stops you from being your highest and best self? And are you substituting busyness and all the chaos that goes along with busyness from being effective? Let me tell you, a bunch of scientists got together, they began to do some research, and they began to determine that 80% of the things we do are busy things that we do in an area that is not effective, that the average person only spends 20% of their time doing the thing that they are really gifted at, created at, passionate about, excited to do, and the rest of it is all the dismal, dumb stuff that we all have to do in order to survive. Just crazy stuff that we're doing. Wonder what would happen if we would go from doing 80% of things that are busy but not effective and 20% of the things that are really effective if we would switch those numbers around and only give 20% of our time to the things that we have to do and 80% of our time to the thing that we were created to do. Wonder what would happen to your life. Now think about it a minute. There's a lot of things you could take from me and I could make it. You could take my suit, I got another one. You could take my car, I could get another one. You could take my house, I could get another house. But when you take my time, you have taken something from me that is totally irreplaceable. We take all kind of classes for money management. We know how to manage our money. We know how to repair our houses. We're working on our hair and our bodies and all of this kind of stuff. We do everything except the most important thing is to value our time. It takes time to be creative. You were meant to be creative. You were created in the likeness and the image of a creator, and in that likeness and in that image, you have creativity. If you had time, you would be creative. But in the absence of time and with busyness and clutter and the phone, beep, 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 y'all got music playing on your phone, all kinds of stuff. And no matter what kind of song you put on it, after a while you hate to hear it, because every time you hear that sound, you know it's somebody else wanting something else from you that's taking you away from what you are gifted and creative to do. This is a life class. That means that we have an opportunity to learn how to maximize our lives. Think of the things that you're doing that somebody else could be doing. And think of yourself as a precious commodity that you are going to reserve your energy for your highest and best use. The first thing we teach people that understand their significance, if you are doing anything that somebody else in your life could do, you are not reserving yourself for your highest and best use. We are not using our life, our time, our energy for our highest and best use. And something in the back of this brain back here is going ding, 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 ding. You're missing it. You're missing your life, your purpose, your passion, your excitement, your enthusiasm. And through these classes, what we want to do is shake you and rattle you and stir you up to understand that every moment is a gift, every second is a gift, every thought is a gift, every idea is a gift, every opportunity is a gift, everybody you meet is a gift. You are gifted with opportunities, and I want to show you how to begin to maximize what you've got. People will define you by how they met you. Whether it may be girlfriend, mother, banker, whatever it is, they define you right there. They put a period. But if you have the capacity to do more, turn that period into a comma. I tell people, don't let people put a period where God has put a comma. Explore all of your life, no matter how diverse it is. There are some people who have more capacity and they can handle more things, and there are other people who have to focus on one thing and do one thing well. You have to determine which one you are and be that. Now, a lot of people don't know how to get over the past. They don't know how to forgive. They confuse forgiving with forgetting. You don't have to forget it to forgive it. They need to also realize that forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. It does not exonerate the perpetrator. It doesn't mean that they weren't wrong. It just means that I'm not going to be tied to what they did the rest of my life.
All right. I am back to be exact. So as a matter of fact, again, the title of today is There is a Difference Between Building Up and Holding Up. So I'm going to start with the definition. So the definition of build up that you can Google is to assemble or accumulate something by putting parts or material together. That's definition number one. So when you're building up something, you're assembling something like the chair that I'm sitting in. If I'm building up this chair, I'm putting the parts together, or the material together to create this chair. I'm building it up. I mean, it's easy to just sit on something that's already been built up. Definition number two is on Google too. To make a person or their body stronger. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So, when you are building up something, you become stronger. You last longer because you became stronger through the process. Boom. And then it says, the third definition says to cause something to increase or become greater. That's build up. Now, hold up, because I told you there's a difference. I'm trying to give y'all the Google definition of the difference of build up and hold up. Now, the definition of hold up is to support or prevent something from falling. So you're just holding this up to prevent it from falling. That's it. You're not doing, I mean, the table can do that, but you're just holding it up to prevent it from falling. So that's what hold up means. So just because you can hold something up doesn't mean you know how to build it up. Just because you can hold it up don't mean you know how to build it up. You don't know the process that it takes to build it up. It's easy to take credit for something you didn't have to do. You didn't have to build up from the ground up. It's easy. Because you didn't have to, do all the labor and all of that stuff. Just like it's easy for people to think that, they can be a woman. And they could just say that they're a woman and that's it, when they don't know what it takes to be a woman. They were not built to be a woman. They were not built to endure the things that a woman has to endure. They were not built for this. And they can hold up and try to look like and whatever like, but they would never be like, because God did not build them to be a woman at all. The stuff that a woman has to do, don't get it confused. Ain't easy. Believe me. So it's like you're giving birth to a baby. Now, when you're building something up, there's something inside of this passion inside of you that God has given to you. This baby, He has birthed a baby, whether it's a physical baby. See, I've had both babies. They'll be like, what do you mean you have 5 babies? I thought you only had 2 kids. I'm like, yeah, but the gifts that the businesses that God has birthed out of me are also my babies. I take care of those and I nourish those just like I nourish and take care of my own babies, my physical baby. But like I said, it's just like, giving birth to a baby, because, there's something in you that, God is birthing out of you. But only you and God know what's going on inside of you. Only you and God. Everybody else can look on the outside, but only you and God know for sure what you're dealing with. Inside. Now, everybody else, there's women, every woman is capable naturally, to physically have a baby, unless there was something that happened, at their birth or whatever. But we are supposed to naturally be able to, have a baby. That's what we were built for. But when God has implanted this baby inside of us, we don't know. All we can do is trust that God will develop this baby and all of this stuff. And, all we are told to do is keep the nourishment up, continue to do what we have to do. Take care of this being that's inside of us, this baby that's in us. We still got a nourishment. You can't say, oh, well, I got a baby and I can just do whatever I want to do. No, you're going to have some self-control. You can't do the usual. You have to have self-control. So I'm going to let you know, when you're building something up in God, my God, the only God, the Almighty God, the I am that I am. I have to say all this stuff because y'all switching stuff up and changing stuff up. I ain't got time. So the Almighty God, that's the only God I'm talking about. I will ever talk about, okay? Boom. So when the Almighty God decides to birth this baby inside of you, He put this baby inside of you. Now, you know that there's this, beautiful thing that's about to, come out of you, whether it's a physical baby or a business. God has just, excited you. You don't know how it's going to turn out or anything, but you are just excited. You're nourishing it. You're doing everything that you can do to improve and do whatever it takes to participate in building, the necessary things up. Even when you're having a baby, you have to get ready. You have to prepare for the baby to come into this world. There's a process that you have to go through. There's uncomfortable periods that you have to deal with when you are pregnant with a baby. And it's both ways, whether a physical baby, because I've been through both. When I was about to give birth to a physical baby, when I had 2 babies that I physically had in my physical stomach. I know it don't look like it, but I did. I had 2 babies in my physical stomach. And with these babies, couldn't nobody really tell me, literally, how it was going to be for me when I gave birth to this particular baby. The 2 babies that I have. Because they were 2 totally different babies. I had 2 totally different pregnancies for both of them. One, I wasn't sick at all, nobody had involved. Second one, she took everything, all of it. She didn't leave some of it, none of it. But the whole point is that when we are giving birth, there's a process that we have to go through. There's an uncomfortable period at the beginning. We're excited. We're like, oh my gosh, I have a baby inside of me. I'm so excited. We're excited. We're passionate. We're like, I don't care. I'm going to have self-discipline. I'm not going to do this. I ain't got time for this. We just dismiss everything because we are about to give birth to this beautiful baby. So we're excited. We can't hide it, because this baby about to come, in 9 months. Now, as the baby is forming, there's a development stage that the baby has to go through. And while the baby is developing, you are developing also. So you're developing and the baby is developing. You're developing while the baby developing. The baby developing and they're causing extra pain. The more they grow, the more this baby grows, the more you go through. So as it grows inside of you, the more pain you're going to have to intake. There's no way around it. We're excited at the beginning. Woo! Yay! I have a little being inside of me. Yay! Woo! And then we feel the little flutters at first, and we're just like, our bodies still basically look the same, but we know that, something has ignited us, something has just inspired us, just, we're preparing. Can't nobody tell. They're like, are you really pregnant? Whatever. I'm really pregnant. And I'm, you're looking for stuff, you're getting stuff, you don't even know what to, get, but you're just preparing for a baby. You're saving, you're doing things to prepare for this baby that God has put inside of you. Boom. So, this is for the mothers. Then I'm going to help you discover on another level. But, so as a mother, we get the first flutter. We're like, oh, yes. We still look the same, because this is just the foundation of it. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. Everything that's exciting. We still basically got most of our money, all of that. Boom. So a couple of months in, we're feeling a little bit of extra stuff. We feel a little kick. First kick, we're just like, oh my gosh, I feel it. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I feel a kick. We try to sleep, they kick him while we're trying to sleep. Now we in pain and we losing sleep and all this stuff. We like, what in the what? And they did not discuss this part. Oh, well, I didn't have to go through that part because our process is different. You can ask anybody about what they do. They could have done what God is telling you to do, but it's still not going to be the same. It's still not going to be the same. Still, I thought me and their father had a huge debate. 'Cause I was like, I mean, there was a lot of things I didn't know, but I thought since, I was the first actual born child that, my first child will be a girl. So we had a debate. I was like, I don't care, you got 50 million boys, boom, but I'm gonna have your first girl, which I did, but that came second. I'm like, what? All the girls in this family, in my family, the women are dominant. It's more women in the family than men on my mama's side. So I'm like, how in the world did this happen? Because my family only have girls first and all of this stuff. So I thought, boom, I was gonna have a girl, but that didn't happen. No matter what, the rest of my family had, Shanidra had a boy first. Different. But I mean, they had boys as well after their first child, but we still did not have the same experience. Period. I didn't even have the same experience with both of my children. Period. So I just want to throw that out there that, we're never going to have the same experience. We're never going to go through the same process. And it's going to take a lot to build what God that He has birthed inside of you. There's no one else to go to besides the Creator who created you. Now, let me break this down. So, we get through the flutter parts. We're excited. Boom. Yay. Still look the same. Couple of months after that, we get a little pudge or whatever. Boom. Still kind of look the same, People couldn't tell that I was pregnant until I turned around and I'm like, oh, she got a little basketball right there, whatever. But both of my kids were 7 pounds and 22 inches long. So I had some pretty healthy kids. They were almost 8 pounds coming out of Shanidra because I did nourish these kids. Now, I may not have looked like us, but they was getting nourished. I was still nourishing the baby that I was going to give birth to. So, we have to go through the pains and labor in order to give birth to a physical baby. We have uncomfortable periods at night and during the day, all day pretty much. And we still got to go throughout our day, but we stay in focus because we are excited about this baby that we're going to give birth to. And we don't care. We're going through the most. I mean, the literal most. When you are pregnant with a child, honey, baby. That's why you can't get me to have any more. Let's God decide. I'm not. But I do have a boy and a girl. Thank you, Lord. Boom. But, it takes a lot to, have the baby and then, you give birth, you got to go through the pains and labor of laboring this baby and building this baby up and all of this stuff. Boom. Now, that's the physical baby. I gave you that so you can see the comparison. Now, when He gives you a business, when He gives you this business baby that's inside of you, because, back to having a baby, we know there's a baby inside of us. We don't know all the ins and outs. We don't know how they're going to look or whatever. We got to figure out, if it's a boy or a girl, even when we know that it's a boy or a girl, even when we get certain details, we still really don't know how it's going to go and how it's going to show. We really still do not know. We don't. I mean, we can look at the little blurry looking stuff that shows their fingers, but we still cannot see physically their, actual face until, we give the birth to this child. All the obstacles that come along with it, everything, with my son, I had lost a job, then I tried to get a job, walking into an interview pregnant, they're not going to hire you. I mean, there's just obstacles that you have to, it's a process that you go through that, but nevertheless, that's still blessed and not stressed. Now, we have this baby. We don't know what it looks like. We don't know, what it's going to end up like, if it's going to have all its fingers. We don't know what we're giving birth to. All we know is that there's a baby inside of us. We're excited about it. We don't know nothing, but it's not even up for discussion that there's a baby inside of us. So, same thing with a business baby. When God gives you this vision of a business, you don't know all the ins and outs of what it's about. I didn't know all the ins and outs of photography when he had me to do photography. I did not go to school for none of the things that I do, period. Again, he pre-qualifies you. We're supposed to show ourselves approved to him, not them. So there's no qualifications that you can get that will please him besides getting into his word, not what you heard. He said, don't be only hearers of his word, but be doers. In order to be doers, you have to acknowledge him in all of your ways, not them. If you continue to listen to them tell you what him is saying, then you plan. Now, as I break this down, so you can be found wearing your crown, you have to follow instructions, clear instructions. Because again, just like can't nobody tell you how your baby's going to come out and how to raise your baby but God. Can't nobody tell you how to run the business vision that God has for you. They can help you, give you tips, boom. But the way God wants you to do it is very different than anyone else. So, it's a difference between building up something and just holding it up. A lot of people would say that, oh, I just, took over this company and all that. That must be good. But don't get it misunderstood. People think that people that run a business, they just took the easier route until they figure out this is not the easier route. Working a job and holding on somebody else's thing that they built up. You didn't build their company up. You're just holding it up. It's easy to just hold up something that somebody else created or built up. That's the easy route. If you haven't figured it out, anybody can clock in and just hold up something, hold up a job. But when you're building something up from the ground up, that's some tough stuff. You have to be tough. You have to be built for this. You have to be. This is nothing you can copy. This is not a hobby. You have to be built for this. Because what God has built in you, don't get confused. Can't nobody else do what you do. The one you do. Just like David did too. Don't get that confused. It only took one little bitty David. David was small. Out of all of them, he was the smallest of them. And they didn't understand why he was even over there. They're like, what little bitty David gonna do? They were so confused. Like David didn't even know, but God is in control. So David goes over there like, what's going on? They're frightened. This whole army, a group of people, so frightened of this big Goliath. And David goes over there like, who is Goliath? Oh, this big creature right here. He's so big. But David like, he ain't bigger than my God. And it's like, no. And he's like, I can take him. Because he still gave credit to God. See, y'all walk around with this fake facade. And y'all hide behind a lie. Because y'all deny God. Y'all will give credit to your job and not God. God be trying to build something up. He built you for a certain thing. But you rather hold somebody else's thing up and think you the stuff. God said, hold up. Now, it took one David. One David, a whole army with equipment and everything couldn't do. They couldn't do what David did. Now, they could have tried it. They could have looked at David like, oh, he just used a slingshot. Let me try to sling. No, that's not how it's going to go for you. That's what God used for David. But that don't mean he's going to do the same thing for you. Don't get that confused. So you can try to do exactly what David did. Because you'll look at David like, that little bitty David. He beat Goliath with the slingshot. Oh, let me try to beat some giants with the sling. It's not the slingshot, sweetheart. Did you hear the part where he said, God is with me, God is God, my Father? I mean, read it. I'm not going to tell you. I'm paraphrasing. Summarizing it. Well, read it. David and Goliath. David and Goliath. And Goliath tried to make him back down and, turn around because he was bigger than David. And they was like, I ain't worried about you. I ain't no fool. Honey, ain't got to do what they have to do, honey. My God got you, sweetheart. I am a part of God, honey. I have favor in his eyes. What? Because I decided to ride with God. I don't have this fake facade. I don't think of myself bigger than what I am. I know that I'm part of I am. I know I can't do nothing without the I am. Period. So, don't be delusional. You can try it. You can try to use slingshot and see if you can beat Goliath like he did, but you're going to kid yourself. Nobody else. You're just going to kid yourself. Because you can't do it. That's not what God built for you to do. David didn't need all that equipment. He was like, what's this? This is too heavy. I ain't going to be able to beat him up with all this heavy equipment. No, you're going to need this. This is a big giant. It took one David to do what an army couldn't do. Honey, boo, because he was built for that. God had built him up. He was fighting bears and tigers and stuff. But he knew he didn't do that on his own. So they didn't know he belonged. He didn't do that on his own. All they saw David doing was watching over. It was like, oh, he's not built for this. He hasn't went through the training that we have went through. But the training that they went through wasn't through God. You didn't go through God's training. You didn't go through that process. That's the only one that's going to bless and make you not stressed. You're going to continue to be stressed and in some mess that God did not have for you. You're going to be busy too. Busy trying to look like something that you're not like. That's not what God wants you to do. You trying to do what you see others do. But God said, that's not what I have for you to do. I didn't build you for that. You don't know what it takes. You don't know what it takes. You don't know it. You're just holding something up. You don't know about this stuff. You don't know, honey. But you out of control and delusional. Because David didn't do that on his own. Honey, quit acting funny, honey. David did not do it on his own. It wasn't the slingshot that made Goliath fall down. Let's be it, because y'all say, oh, I'm in tune with reality, and reality is I got bills. Oh, I guess Shanita don't have bills. Oh my goodness. That's a lie. My bills is probably higher than all of y'all. I was paying for a building and my living and all the children. But it wasn't me, honey. It was God. All I had to do was do what God had me to do. He was building me up. He provided the way, that the path that he had me to be on. He provides. You don't have to ride and do all this other stuff because God provides. How do you, and you just, and God. Look at my fruits. Nothing can take credit for what God is doing in my life. Nothing. Shanidra can't take, I cannot explain anything. All I can tell you is that I'm doing what he has me to do. I'm going through his process. I'm showing myself approved through God. I don't walk around with a fake facade. I don't deny God. I don't hide from God. I don't deny, I acknowledge him in all of my ways. I obey him, not them. He's not flattered by any credentials because that's something I had to grow out of. I'm like, well, Lord, I didn't go to school for photography. I didn't go to school for this. I was ashamed to even say, I wasn't going to tell nobody that, I didn't go to school for photography. But when God started opening doors and helping me to explore more, it was like, I already gifted you with the gift to do it. All I will show you how. My way. Literally. And learning his way helped me a lot. I went from photography to ministry to the Destin magazine. It was always a need, literally, as I went on my journey. Photography, I'm like, okay. God was like, while I'm having you on your destiny, going towards who you're destined to be, I want them to also see. So you're going to literally teach them. I had to write my own book, but the See Destined to Be God book, I literally typed up as he downloaded, like how I do on these videos. As he downloaded, I just let him talk. That's how I walk. He talk, I walk. And I was typing like, I'm just really living out all the different steps that he had in there. But then when I had teenagers and adults going through my classes, I was wanting them to be in a magazine. That's how the magazine came. Never did a magazine, never went to school for a magazine, to publishing, or I didn't do none of this stuff. I went to school for business management, but I didn't go to school for none of that other stuff. School wasn't really for me. I never really liked school. So that wasn't something I liked to do. But I never went to school for any of the things that he had me to do. But don't get it confused. That's what he built me to do. Now, the first issue of the magazine didn't look like what you would, expect it to look like, but God opened the door for me to explore more. And, when the airport caught on and other people were wanting to be featured in the magazine, I'm like, oh, my magazine, Destined Magazine? Are you going towards who you're destined to be? Yes. Okay, you can be in it. How long have you been in business? I just started. That's perfect. That's the magazine, but that was birthed out of my classes. Destined to be. So, started Destined to Be literally back in 2017, photography back in 2015. So, 2021, I started Beyond the Cover Academy, which is the Destined to Be, helping people and children to become who they're destined to be. But I literally send them to the Almighty. All this is by faith. You can't replace the faith that it takes. It's not just holding something up, you building it up from the ground up. And nobody may understand what you're doing, the plan, that because they don't know. God is in control. He only told you this between you and God. They don't get to decide. This between you and God. That's how I ride. I don't copy nobody else. I'm just myself, literal self. And that's all God wants you to do, is be you. But you can't find you if you continue to do what they have you to do. And you're trying to show yourself approved through their curriculum, through their training. The Army training couldn't beat the light because they wasn't built for that. They didn't have the faith for that. So, do you want to be built, or do you want to continue holding somebody else's stuff up that they built it? Yours may seem like less than or whatever because you're developing, this big thing that's going to be big. As a teenager, when I bought my first car, I actually saved up money and had self-discipline enough working at Wendy's. That was my first job on Western Avenue in Knoxville. I think I only made $6.25. That's all they was paying back then. Back then when I worked there, and I saved up to buy my first car. And it wasn't the best, but I was blessed because it was mine, and I bought mine. It was under my name. I paid for it with my money, honey. I got my own insurance, I felt good in the neighborhood. Wasn't nothing given to me or none of that. I bought that, so I walked around like, yeah, I did what it took. I built up to get the thing, get my own car. It was mine. I bought it. But can't nobody take something that's yours with your name on it. So, all the other kids, they had better cars. It looked like they had better cars. And they did. They had the newer cars, but their parents, it was under their parents' name. Their parents, they would complain, oh, my dad took my car today and I didn't have it or whatever. I'm like, how can they take your car if that's your car? No, it's my dad's car, but he's giving it to me. I don't have to make any payments or anything. It looked glamorous to be able to, claim something you didn't have to pay for, buy or, sacrifice for or suffer for or nothing like that. It look all right. You look bright. But you have given the power into somebody else's hands. Because that wasn't part of the plan. So you couldn't nobody else take my stuff. that I pay for with my money. I didn't take none of their money. My parents didn't give me none of their money to buy my own. I paid for my own car. Matter of fact, I paid for my own bed. I was the only one in the house that could take their bed out, their bedroom set. It was a bed in a box. I paid for that, made payments to build my credit with the Walmart back when they had the layaway stuff. Because I was like, they had, bigger beds because I've been small. So, they was like, well, you can stay in it, queen size bed longer because, they're bigger and all of that. Okay. Well, I'm going to get what I want today. Hey. So, I paid and I was able to take my stuff out. Same thing with my car. I paid for my car. Can't take my car. I pay for my own phone. I pay for my own phone bill. You can't take this. This under my name. I pay the bills. So they couldn't take nothing. It's just like a job. They can take that position from you. I'm the CEO. Who's the boss of me besides God, the Almighty? You can't take this position from me. I'm not holding no other position up. I built this up. That's the difference. It's easy to take credit and look good in something that somebody else built up. But you don't know what it took to build it up. So you're not going to last. You're going to be a thing of the past. Because you don't know what it takes to last. When you build something up, you know how to last. Joseph knew how to last. He went through his process with God. He didn't try to hide behind his fake side and do what they told him to do. Y'all go to everything and everybody else but God, but y'all want to learn more about God and how to know God, but you don't spend time with God. You don't read the word that you heard. He said, don't be only hearers of his word, but be doers. You say that you do it, but people just tickle me when they say, oh yeah, me too. And do you think I'm boo-boo the fool? You ain't went through nothing. It ain't even up for discussion because you wouldn't even be talking the way that you talking. If you was walking this, you wouldn't be talking like this. That's like our kids. They didn't build nothing up. They can talk all big and, oh yeah, my mama, died. And we live la da da whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. They ain't picked this up. Now, maybe, a little bit because they have been on my journey. So they're a little bit different. But it's easy to take credit for something you didn't build up. You wasn't built for somebody else's thing. God has a baby for you that's different from all the other babies. Just like when you have a baby, both of my babies are different. Not just because they're a boy and a girl, but they're totally different. They got the same mother and same father, but they're totally different. Totally. Personality, everything's different. I can't, deal with them the same or nothing. They're different. So the baby that God is giving you is different. And the only one that can help you build it up is God. The only person that's helping me build them up is God. To train them up in the way that they should go is God. You don't hear me reading nothing else but the Bible. Trying to figure out and build a relationship with God. That's the problem in relationships now. They go around the person that they supposed to be with or that they want to be with. They go to everybody else but that person. if they're trying to get to know. What about this person? Did you know this person? Ask the person. Talk to the person. Get to know God. You don't have to read nothing else. You can read the Bible to help get to know. Read it. Like literally open it up and read more than a chapter. You can do that. You can read his word and get to know him too, because you're spending time with him. More than 30 minutes or an hour or whatever you want to give him. Your pastor was talking about, going to church and helping out the church ain't getting you into heaven. That's what he said as the benediction. He was inviting people. It's not getting you into heaven, sweetheart. You can say, oh, Lord, I was helping out in the ministry. I was helping out right here. I was doing this, but you didn't do what I had you to do. He said, why did you call me Lord, Lord, and you don't do what I say? You don't obey me. You do it your way, not my way. You lead people astray because you refuse to do it my way. You keep choosing to hit the highway. But that's all I have to let you know. On today, we must pray and obey the Almighty. We must do it Yahweh so we don't have to hit the highway. I hope you guys have an amazing, blessed day.